How does a stepchild really feel?
She'll be answering your questions in this video segment. This is Jayne Nicoletti for StepMom magazine. A couple of months ago, I did a segment where I asked my stepdaughter Krista some questions about step life, and she answered them very candidly. That was our most popular video to date. So now my other stepdaughter, Erica, is going to answer questions, but this time from our readers. I've known you for 10 years this month.
It's a long time.
How did you feel about getting a stepmother in the beginning?
As you can expect from any 9-year-old or any young child who is going through change, I did not take it very well in the beginning. Getting a stepmom and a stepdad, it was a very hard adjustment for me and my sister at first. But like everything, with time, it got better. I got to know Jayne more, I got to know my stepdad more, and I loved them right away.
At what age did you feel like that you could verbalize your feelings about being a stepchild?
Well, I started verbalizing it at a very young age. I would tell my dad that I didn't like, this is before I met Jayne. I would say some really mean things.
Okay, it's understandable.
But I didn't know who she was as a person.
Right.
I didn't even meet her yet. It's just the initial finding out that your dad has a girlfriend, that your mom has a boyfriend. It just did not sit well with me. So I've been verbalizing it since I was young.
So you would say right from the beginning you were able to say how you felt. You didn't feel like you had to hold anything back.
Me and my family have a very open relationship. I always feel like I can talk to them about anything that's bothering me.
Did you ever feel that you had a loyalty bind that made you feel uncomfortable, like between your mother and me or your stepfather and your dad?
No, I never felt that way. Mostly because my stepmom and my mom get along, my stepdad and my dad get along. Everyone has a nice, friendly relationship. So I never felt like, my mom never made me feel like I couldn't love Jayne. My dad never made me feel like I couldn't love my stepdad.
Now, but let's say you were talking to another stepchild and they said, you know, I feel like if I love my stepmom or if I love my stepdad, that I would be betraying my biological parent. What would you say to that child? Like, what would you say to them? What kind of advice would you give them?
If you feel like you're going to be betraying your parents, then I don't really think that your parents are teaching, well, I don't know.
No, you can be honest.
I don't know if your parents are like teaching you the right way, because like if someone's mom is saying like, I don't want you to love them, like, then that's not right. If your mom or dad is telling you not to love and respect your stepmom or dad, you need to stand up for yourself and realize that it's okay to love the new person in your mom or dad's life. They make them happy, they treat them good, they obviously brought them into your life for a reason. So I think that you need to stand your ground and know that it is okay.
Right, and maybe you could tell the biological parent, you're my mom, you're my dad. Nothing's going to change that, but you can love someone else. It's not the same, but you can still love them. Just like the love for a stepchild, child, or whatever is different than the love of a spouse. It's important that people know the difference and know, you're still important to me, you're still my parent, but it's okay. Your mom and dad have joint custody. We're 50-50 for the most part. Now you're older, it's a little different. Did you feel like you had to be a different person in each home?
Never.
Never?
I always feel like I can just be myself. I'm very comfortable with you and with my stepdad.
You come to your dad's house and you use your dad like saying things like, if I said something like clean up after yourself or put the dish away or whatever, did that make you feel weird? Or you were okay with that?
No.
No?
Never felt weird.
You didn't feel like, oh, who's this lady telling me what to do?
No. My dad taught me from the very beginning that I have to respect Jayne, and I do love her, so I will respect anything that she says. I was taught to respect and obey like anything that my stepdad and my stepmom says.
Both your mother and your father instilled in you to respect the other elder in the house. That's really important. From other stepmothers and stepfathers I talked to, they said that if they had the support of their spouse, just to say to the kids, you have to respect this other person in the home, this other adult, that it was a lot smoother, and you have to do this with me.
Having step-parents is no longer weird for me. My parents have been divorced in my life longer than they've been together. So I'm more used to having her and my stepdad in my life than seeing my parents together.
Right.
This is just a normal thing for me.
What things made step life easier and step life harder?
Okay, well, what made it easier was I was fortunate enough to have good and amazing step-parents. Because, you know, some people don't get that lucky. Hence the evil stepmother. But that is
and the killer stepfather. It's always the killer on Lifetime.
That is not true in all cases, especially mine. I was very fortunate to have step-parents who would work with me, and they knew from the beginning, especially Jayne, knew that me and Krista were uncomfortable at first. She worked with us. I mean, it's also very hard on her part, coming into a family of young kids, having to win them over. And my stepdad has a daughter.
And now he was the step-parent. It was new for him as well. What would you say was the hardest thing? Like it can't always be rainbows and butterflies. I personally think sometimes it's adjusting to
that's
packing your bag, going from one house, going to another house, you have your friends there, you don't have anybody here.
That, like having to come and go, like having to pack my bags and everything, but also like adjusting again to having a new parent, as you would say, like in your life, someone else telling you like what to do, not like in a bad way, but
it's just not
like disciplining
you. You had 2 people telling you to do, now you got 4.
Yeah,
like,
so
crap.
That would be the hardest part, I guess, was first adjusting to it. And it took me personally, I don't know about my sister, but it took me a little while. Even when my dad said he was going to marry you, I cried that day for some reason. I don't know why, but I guess it still took me like a little while to...
I think that it's the final nail in the coffin.
Yeah.
Like even though you know your parents are going to get back together,
it's
just
but
like
honestly,
that final.
Honestly, like if I think about sometimes, like it would be weird if my parents were together right now. Like I having Jayne and having my stepdad is like normal for me. Like I think it would be so weird if I would never want them to get back together. Mostly because I don't want to lose Jayne, I don't want to lose my stepdad, and I don't want to lose my stepsister. So,
but I think you also, it seems foreign to you now because it's been like you said, it's longer that they're not together than they are together. So it's just it's weird. Yeah, and you were young too.
Yeah, so
now you.
I was 9. I'm 19 now, so
you have a different perspective. What kind of stupid things have people said to you about being in step? And if they haven't, do you think that's because it's just so common?
I really rarely ever get questions about it. Well, especially now because it's been so long, but I think it's so common now. I feel like a lot of people are like stepmoms and stepdads. I feel like it's just
the norm. Like it's not like a big deal. If you could correct one mistake that you made in this journey, what would you correct? And if you don't have any, which is fine, what do you think you did right?
One mistake I would correct is when I was younger, I was a little bit, me and my sister both, were not taking to the whole idea of my parents being with other people. We used to make rules for them that they weren't allowed to kiss in front of us. They weren't allowed to say I love you to each other. They weren't allowed to do any sort of affection in front of us. When I think back, it's just so immature to me now that I wish I wasn't like that I could change that, because I could have very well pushed someone away by doing that. So thank you for saying
no, but
those moments.
But the thing was, I understood that you were young. I
was young, but I just wish that sometimes I could go back and
if you said that. Yeah, but if you said that now, it would be a problem. But at 9 years old, I was like, all right, this is new to her, it's fine. Yeah. But now, because then you couldn't kiss anybody either.
Yeah. We used to steal my dad's phone. We used to read their texts. If we saw "I love you" on the screen, it was over. We would cry. We would be so mad, but...
And now you look back and go, what?
Yeah, that's why. That's the one thing I would correct. Other than that, everything has been
That's not a huge mistake.
Yeah.
I think that's just an immature thing. I'm not saying that, you're immature as a person, but at the time, your age, Mm-hmm. The next 3 questions are for me. You came out as being gay 3 years ago. Did you find it harder to come out to 4 people now as opposed to 2? Did you feel more pressure? There was more people involved, more family involved, and then you had you also had your step-parent, you had your stepsister, and it's just like a whole bunch of more people to come out and be honest with. Did you think that was hard for you?
Well, I basically have like 4 families now. Basically, I have all these people that I would have to tell eventually.
Right.
So the initial thought of it, I was really nervous to tell. I was even nervous to tell my parents, my mom and my dad. But I thought about it and I realized the kind of family that I have, we are all very open, we're all very loving and supportive. So I knew that the second I told everyone, I would be supported, that it wouldn't even be a second thought, that they would love me no matter what. I mean, some people aren't as lucky, they don't have family members who are understanding. So, but I was fortunate enough that I did. You guys actually made it easier. Just the way that you guys are, the way that you love me and everything. So
right. You have a girlfriend for over a year now.
Yep.
What was her reaction to you being a stepchild?
She thought it was cool that I have a stepsister. She thought it was cool that my family is so friendly to each other because you guys are all friends. My grandparents, my mom's side and my dad's side, they still hang out. Like they thought it was cool that my whole family gets along like that. She loves coming to Jayne and my dad's house. She loves hanging out with them.
She's a good kid.
And double the family, double the fun.
We're all crazy.
Yeah.
So you got more crazies. If you could choose one piece of advice to a stepchild, what would it be?
I would say that it is very difficult in the beginning. Your feelings are valid. You are allowed to feel this way. It takes time, but over time you need to get to know your step-parent. You get to see what kind of person they are, and most of the time they're going to be loving. They're also very scared. They are also in a weird position. So just give it time. As time goes on, it'll get easier and easier. Here I am. This is 9 years later. 10 years later. 10 years.
I know, it's weird.
10 years later. It's been great ever since. When I first heard about my dad having a girlfriend, I was not happy at all. Not one bit. I cried. I ran away down the block. But the second I met Jayne, I asked her if I could hold her hand. I knew she was good right away. I could just feel it. I felt good vibes from her. Just need to give it time. Understand that your step-parent is going through a difficult time as well. Give it time and it will work itself out.
And what advice would you give stepmom?
Again, I know it can be hard. A lot of stepchildren are not that.
They're not as great as you.
Not as great as me, obviously. No, but even in the beginning, I think I was horrible. You just need to push through it. They're gonna come around. Maybe talk to your spouse about it. Maybe they can talk to the children. Just hang in there. It's gonna be okay. They will eventually come around.
There is light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes, there is. Just look at us.
Okay, now here's the fun question. What is your favorite memory that we shared?
I would have to say, my favorite memory was their wedding when they got married, because although when I first found out that they were engaged, that they were going to get married, I cried. I felt like I was giving my dad away in a way. But on their wedding day, I really felt like Jayne became part of my family, that she became my mom, and that's the day that I really fully accepted her, that I brought her into my life and wanted to be the best stepchild I could be. So that
was also a fun day.
It was a very fun day. That was one of the best weddings I've been to.
Yeah, it was a fun day. We got lucky with the weather, everything was good.
I wish I wore a different dress, but it's fine. Can't change it. It was ugly. Their wedding day was definitely my favorite day. My favorite memory with Jayne. I felt like we really connected.
You're very sweet. So she's a good kid. It can work.
It works.
We hope you enjoyed this segment. Hopefully we can do more of these somewhere down the road. This is Jayne Nicoletti for StepMom Magazine, because even when it's good, it's complicated.